Hi, people. Welcome back to 521. We're doing the Unknowns interview, and today we have Rowdy. Do you want to introduce yourself, bro?
It's Rowdy! AKA Big Rowds. What's happening, people? Love.
Can you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
That's why I'm here, man. Yeah, so Rowdy. Been MCing for 20 plus years now. Do grime, hip hop, where they meet in the middle. Where they meet in the middle is probably my little sweet spot. Done loads of battles over the years where we're talking like traditional hip hop battles where I was freestyling. And then most known for my grime clashes. I've done like Lord of the Mics. But anywhere from jump off to Chester P's 5 word battles, I've been about on loads of different scenes. I've been involved in the underground hip hop scene as well as the grime scene. I'm probably more known for my grime stuff, but I think the music that I make sits somewhere in between, like mostly like grime speed, but with like the same kind of vibe that you'd get in hip hop tunes, like sample wise or just sound wise. But the drums would be like more grime, trap, maybe even drill. I wouldn't say I make drill, but the sort of drums, that's my sort of sound. And I've been rapping and producing for 20, 25 years, something like that.
When did you start production? Was it right from the beginning, or is this something you joined in halfway?
I started producing on Music 2000 on the PlayStation. So, the same time, yeah.
You've obviously been involved in hip hop and in grime, so I guess you would be an interesting person to ask my next question to, because there's so many people that are in hip hop that haven't really embraced grime in the same way they embraced hip hop, but they have an opinion on the difference between the two. And you sit in a perfect place to kind of tell us a little bit about how they both differ and whether you consider grime as hip hop or, you know.
I consider aspects of grime to be massively influenced by hip hop culture. I'd say grime is part of UK's hip hop culture, not necessarily hip hop music itself, but like we don't dress too dissimilarly, especially in the current climate. I think there was maybe more differences back in the day, but I think now the lines are blurred a lot more. I think a lot of grime's influence that some people might not recognize is from like dancehall culture as well. So it's sort of takes influences from lots of different places. There's some people that would even attribute a lot of grime influence to like punk music as well. That sort of being against the system, the loud energy, and grime is like very much like in its purest form. It is very much like about the live aspect of it, and then you get the reload culture from Jamaican sound system culture and stuff like that. So I think it's I consider it like almost like a spin-off of hip hop, but it has loads of other different influences, not just hip hop itself.
That's interesting that you say the spin-off is from hip-hop, because so many times we hear that the spin-off came from garage and other scenes, where we keep hearing stories about how the elders in certain scenes didn't accept the grime artists, so they went and created their own and whatever. And in recent times in particular, I'm hearing more people saying that that was aimed more at the garage scene rather than the hip-hop scene.
Yeah, I think like the garage scene sort of embraced the early grime when garage was sort of getting a little bit dark and the MCs were still rapping about girls. So there was quite a lot of crossover. Like Pay As You Go is probably the biggest cross. Like, well, they're probably the crew that made the biggest crossover. Obviously, So Solid as well, but So Solid I'd still consider more like garage. But yeah, I think like garage was a massive influence on grime as well. But I just feel, for me personally, the way I treat it, the hip hop for my music, for my grime that I make, I'd say the hip hop was a bigger influence. But I started MCing over garage. I used to MC like that, put a bit of bass in my voice like that, do all that dumb shit before I found myself properly as an artist. You get me? So yeah, to be honest, I kind of missed it when when you said garage. I was like, why didn't I say garage as well? So garage is obviously a massive influence on grime as well. But as far as like the scene not really liking grime, I think it's because they just saw it as like a negative thing. And also, I don't think when a new sound comes through, people that are in love with the sound or people that are responsible for it don't really ever want to see the new sound come through because it will take over. So the same way that some grime people didn't like drill when drill first emerged was the same way that garage people didn't like grime.
I guess to a lot of people, it was very similar when grime started coming in and people were kind of like in hip hop, not embracing it, thinking, oh, it's violent, it's this or whatever. Everyone had different opinions. Some just weren't into it sonically, and others were seeing it as something that was bringing negativity to the scene. And it's the same, I guess, now with drill.
I think also you got to remember that in Britain, like, people are haters. People are haters. They don't like to see people do well. You start doing too well, people make excuses for why you're doing well, why they don't like you. And I think that's just something to do with, like, the rain. I think that grumpy weather's just got people pissed off. They always just got something to complain about.
We had you doing a one take. How are you that good? And I've asked this to a few people that have been here. How are you that good, but yet the masses haven't heard about you? What, is it your business not being on point? Is it just you haven't got the right people pushing you? Or what is it?
I'd say there's loads of different things, like lack of marketing and promotion, or knowledge of how to market and promote myself properly, lack of funding. You know, like I've got a normal day job, you know what I'm saying? And especially now, I've got kids to support as well. So I've got to be very strategic about what money I'm putting in, because it's more limited than, I guess, what some other people have. And not really wanting to conform as well. Plus, I also think, like, it took me time to develop to get to where I'm at. Like, I had to develop myself as an artist. I listened to my old stuff, and I don't really like it. So maybe that's why people didn't like my older stuff. So I completely understand, but I've learned more about the game. I've made myself a better artist. I've practiced. I've, perfected my craft, and I feel like there's no time like the present. Like, there's no reason why I can't still have all the successes that I dreamed of.
So recently, I've seen that you done a little performance on DJ Mac 10's, but you've also done DJ AG's one. Mm-hmm. How has being on those platforms helped you?
So for me, I think it's like, it's good to take it back to sort of like the grassroots, like the street. Not even just the fact that it's outside, but just taking it to the streets. Like, no gatekeepers. Get on the mic. If you do well, people are going to like it. And for me, I saw what AG was doing, saw what Mac 10's been doing, really rated it, wanted to get involved. And I've already knew Mac 10 before. I didn't know AG, but I got in contact with him. He said, "Yeah, come down." He said he'd heard of me before, which was fortunate. And then just went there, did my thing. I respect the platform. I like the fact that they're kind of two different sides of it as well. Like, Mac 10 works with people that he knows, which I kind of understand, but he's also not closed off to meeting new people. If you approach him in the right way, you might get the opportunity. But with AG, he keeps it like an open platform that anyone who comes with the right respect can have the opportunity, and I appreciate that too, because it's not up to me or it's not up to anyone else to decide what other people are going to like. Obviously, there's going to be certain levels, like some shit is just shit, no one's going to like it, yeah? But I think, especially for me, there's a lot of stuff that I don't like. So for me, I'm not the best person to judge what is good or not, because my standards might be a little bit higher or just different than someone else's. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I don't really rate that is popular. And who am I to tell people what to like or what not to like? I'm just here to just deliver a good product. And if you like it, well done. Congrats.
So at what point in your career did you notice a major change in you where you were like, right, I'm ready now?
I think I've always felt like I was ready, but I wasn't always right. The energy that I've got now feels like I'm the most ready. I think there was times when, just before I did my Lord of the Mics and I was on the radio doing grime quite a lot, around 2015, right? I had a little bit of popularity. I was in the grime scene. I was getting respected by people that I'd grown up listening to in the grime scene. And then I'd get calls from other MCs saying, "Oh, bring me to radio with you." I felt like I was like part of the scene. And with hindsight, if I'd have got big back then, I don't think it would have been the best thing for me. Mental health wise, maybe my ego needed to be in check. You know, like with hindsight, you realize these things. At the time, you don't always realize that you're not on the right path until you actually get on the right path and you can realize how wrong you might have been going.
Tell us a little bit about your clashing days. What was the best one? What was the one that made the most impact? What made you even get involved in the clashing?
So I think the best clash I've had is against a guy called XP. That was on Lord of the Might 7. That's just because I feel like he was the best opponent. It was the most sort of equal. It was entertaining. The one that had the most impact on my career was a few years before when I did like Lord of the Mights live, where it was Lord of the Mights versus Rinse had a live event, and I clashed a guy called Tempo, and that was the one that sort of put me on the map to a lot of people because after that things started to snowball and I started to get a bit more traction. But also in 2012 I did One Extra Lyrical Master, which was like a clash thing, and that was like a big platform for me as well. Off the back of that I started to get a little bit more radio play on One Extra. Had got brought in to do a few more freestyles. I think off the back of that was how I did my Fire in the Booth with Charlie Sloth when he was still on Radio 1. So those are the three big ones that stand out.
So would it be fair to say that you've paid your dues?
I don't think you ever stop paying your dues. If you're really about this thing, like every day, like trying to reach out and meet new people, get new audience. Like I'm never gonna stop. I don't mind. I'm not afraid of putting in the work. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy the work. It doesn't feel like work. It just feels like doing my thing. And I'm always happy to do my thing. I live for this. I love it. I'm mad passionate about it. It's the reason I wake up in the morning apart from my children. Yes, it's just me. It's just in me.
What plans have you got to kind of build on that and take it further? Like, so it's not just a local thing and it's not just a my mates know me thing.
Just continuing to push, like going on new platforms, like your platform, any other platforms that have, will give me an opportunity that I think is worth my while, I'll do. Might even have another battle again soon. I'm not going to say too much about that just yet until anything is confirmed. But I just continuing to make music and try and connect with new people, look at new avenues and create new opportunities for myself.
So to any other platforms that may come across this little interview here, what have you got to say to them?
Give me a shout, man. I'm hungry. If you want someone talented and you like what I do, give me a shout. I'm easy to work with. I'm humble. And I'm just ready to smash works, man.
I'm going to vouch for him on that one. Like he said he was going to be here at midday. He was here at 11 o'clock. So he was ready. He was reliable. He came in, smashed it in one take. And yeah, he's serious about his business as well. Is there anything else that you want to add? Is there anything in particular that you'd like to talk about?
Make sure you go get my album, The Complex Art of Simplicity, that came out last year. I feel like it's a really solid body of work. The album I made before that was called Growth, and I felt like that was the transition of me growing into the artist that I now am. And the new music that I'm making that's ready to come out in the foreseeable future is even better than that. And it's never too late to jump in and be part of the journey, you know. It's not too late. You don't have to have like always heard about me from day. That don't matter, man. Anytime you wanna support, it's always appreciated, man. You could be listening to anyone, but if you're listening to me, I appreciate you.
How active are you on socials? I mean, how's that working for you?
I'm pretty active, you know. Like I interact with anyone who comments, and you know, like if you sent me a message, I'm not going to air it. I have no problem with interacting with anyone in the public. Do you know what I mean? As long as you approach me with respect and you're not weird, because I do get a few weirdos that just message me some random stuff that doesn't really make sense to me. But, you know, if you come with respect, I've got time for you, man. If you're taking the time out to speak to me, I've got the time to speak to you. And if I don't have time at that exact minute, I have the respect to at least let you know. So I'm kind of active on socials. Might not have like the biggest following or whatever, but a few of the things that I'm doing seem to be getting a bit of traction. So that might change in the future.
You know, Jay-Z said numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
They definitely lie. They definitely lie, bro. But also, they lie because big numbers can make something appear to be better than it is. But also on the flip side of that, like everyone eats fast food, but you know it ain't good for you. So if you want some gourmet, something special, come see me. I would rather have 1,000 diehard supporters that really love what I do than 1 million people that are wishy-washy and don't really care. They're just waiting for the next in thing.
Oh, you stole that from me.
Maybe it's just great minds think alike, man.
Where can people reach you?
On most socials, I think Insta, Twitter, or X, and TikTok, it's at ITSROWD. It's Rowd, but all one word. On Spotify, Apple Music, it's ROW space D, Rowd. That's my name, that's how you spell it. And just come see me, I'm outside, man. If you see me in the streets or at a venue, just come say hello, man. I'm a nice guy.
And again, I can vouch for that. And to finish off from myself, all I'm going to say is doors always open, bro. If you're going to bring the kind of fire you brought in your one take, the door's always open and we'll always carry on supporting.
Thank you, bro. Love, I've got a few other artists that I'm going to send you away, man.
That'd be sick. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Right.
Love.
Thanks for being here.
Peace.
Peace.